Conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks! Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast that has ever and will ever talk about a bad movie. That's right, no other podcast in the history of podcasts has ever talked about a movie that some people consider bad.
True.
I am Dan O'Keefe, and that woman that you just heard talking, that is Anna Otto, as always. How are you, Anna?
Dan, I'm better now that I've forced you to watch this film.
Yeah, I'm worse.
Good.
I'm much worse.
Gage threatened to take back his Patreon subscription. I said no.
Hey, I would tell him to do it, but we need that sweet $10 that he basically gives to you indirectly.
Yes.
Through our Patreon.
True.
Speaking of Patreon, if you want to support the show and make us watch other terrible movies, you can do so at patreon.com/inconclusion. And this episode of In Conclusion, it's a very special episode of In Conclusion.
It is.
Because Anna and I both did heroin before recording. And we're
oh,
gonna tell you why
God!
heroin is bad.
I've been watching, kind of related, but not really. I've been watching a documentary series about people struggling with heroin addiction, and it's actually, I mean, like, not that I expected it to be anything else, but it's very sad.
Oh, I thought it would be all sunshine and rainbows.
My Debbie Downer comment of the day. I also lost the back to my earring. It's not really important, but I'm like, crap, because I'm going to step on it later and it's going to really hurt. But anyway.
Speaking of really hurting, the movie that we're talking about today,
Found it.
in the first installment of the series that we're calling Bad Movie Night, we are talking about Troll 2.
Woo!
Technically the sequel to the film Troll.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
It is a direct-to-video 1990 supernatural, in quotes, comedy horror film, directed by Claudio Fragasso under the pseudonym Drake Floyd.
Yeah.
Produced by Brenda Norris, Joe D'Amato, and Asher Zolkowski-Larson.
That's a name.
It's written by Claudio Fragasso and his wife, Rosella Drudy. You may be noticing that none of these people that we've mentioned seem like native English speakers. And that's correct.
Yeah, this script is clunky, to say the least.
But the alleged native English speakers that star in this film are Michael Stevenson, George Hardy, Margot Bray, Connie McFarland, Deborah Reed, Jason Wright, Darren Ewing, and Jason Stedman, with some other people in there.
And yet their performance is equally clunky.
Right? It was released on October 12th, 1990. It runs 94 minutes long, and there is no information about how much money it made. But it has an average rating of 2.4 out of 10 and a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I bet it made a decent amount of money now. Like, it's on Cinemax and stuff. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's a cult classic now, I don't know. I'm not comparing it to The Room, but I'm comparing it to The Room. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's definitely in the same vein of The Room. It's a way more classic, I would think, bad movie than The Room is.
Yeah.
Because The Room, for all its faults, and I do mean faults, it's like a high art bad movie.
It's something. That we'll have to cover that one day, you know? I know it's been done, but I want to cover it.
Yes, but like Troll 2, it's just like a general oof. They didn't try and they failed anyway.
It's a chef's kiss as far as bad movies go. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a chef's kiss.
Okay, if you had to compare this movie to a chef, what chef would you compare it to? Because there's a correct answer.
The Swedish Chef from the Muppets.
Okay, I was going to say Chef Boyardee.
Oh, I like the Swedish Chef, so that's the one.
That's the one. I've seen them up.
Oh God.
So some fun trivia about Troll 2. The movie was written by, as I said, the director's wife as a way to get back at her friends that had recently become vegetarians and were pissing her off.
That makes so much sense because I said in my notes that this feels like something that somebody who hates vegans would write. Like some of the things they're saying sounds like something who's complaining about vegetarians and vegans trying to change them and like being like, oh, all my friends who've changed over to being a vegan, like that's all they talk about now. That's the aura this gave me, was like, I'm mad that my friends are making different life choices than I am. Which I'm so glad to know that that's actually the truth.
Yeah. And you may not recognize any of the actors that I mentioned.
Correct.
That's because they were all cast at an open casting call that, according to the research that I did, they went to hoping to be extras in the movie. The actor that plays the dad, his name is George Hardy. He's a dentist. He's still a dentist.
Yes. Can you imagine being like, on my business cards would say dentist and former actor.
Michael Stevenson, who plays the main kid.
Yeah.
He was a child actor in this, and La Casa 5, which was also directed by Claudio Fragasso.
Oh, boy.
He was also in The Balkan Trail, which is a Christmas short film, and The Paper Brigade, but now he is a documentary producer.
Ooh, wait, Glow Up, okay? Glow Up.
Right? His first documentary was about this movie. He directed and produced a documentary called Best Worst Movie.
Wait, I gotta write that down. Oh my God, I gotta watch that. That sounds really fun.
I was gonna watch it before we recorded this episode, but then I started watching the movie, and it took me 3 days to finish. And I was like, "Well, now it's 5:30,
That's
and
because
we're
you're
recording
a
at
quitter,
7."
Dan. A quitter.
Yes. Documentary was canceled due to lack of hustle.
Yep.
There are 4 people in the cast that have Wikipedia pages, which is my metric for success. Michael Stevenson, who plays the main kid, George Hardy, who plays the dad, Connie McFarland, who plays the sister in the film. She was also in the 2006 Disney Channel movie Read It and Weep, playing the mother.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious.
Starring the Panabaker sisters? Oh.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. This is huge. I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either.
Her acting's gotten
I
better,
assume
let's
she's
just
the
say
mother.
That much.
Yes. And the other actor who is in it is Jason F. Wright, who plays the boyfriend.
Elliot.
Elliot, yes. He is now an author who writes Christmas books.
Oh my gosh. Moms everywhere are quaking.
Right? It's basically, he just churns them out one a year.
Yep.
Some of them have the title of The Christmas Doll.
Yes.
Picturing Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas Jar's Journey.
Yep.
The 13th Day of Christmas.
Yep.
And Penny's Christmas Jar Miracle.
These are all things that moms everywhere are like, oh, I have that on my bookshelf. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, this cast is, I assume, majority Mormon because it was filmed in Utah, and on the cast pages, like half of them say that they're Mormons.
That would make sense, yeah.
And I'm like, interesting. But in the About production says, the person who played the store owner, the crazy store owner in the movie that we'll get to when we talk about it.
Oh, yes. Gage's favorite character.
Well, he was a very convincing, crazy, creepy guy.
Yes.
The actor's name is Don Packard, and that's because he was a patient at a mental hospital on weekend leave.
Maybe he was there for like obsessive compulsive disorder, generalized anxiety or depression. I'm not trying to shame any mental disorders,
No.
but I'm just picturing him to be kind of like super out there.
He later recalled that he had smoked an enormous amount of marijuana prior to filming.
There it is.
Had no idea what was happening around him, and that his disturbed performance in the film was not acting.
There it is. Oh my god. Wow. The 90s were rough for him, huh?
Yes, I guess.
Yeah.
He started out strong. The last thing that I'll say before we get into the plot of the movie, and boy, what a plot it is that I said that this is allegedly a sequel to the film Troll.
Yes.
And the reason I said that is there are no references to the prior film Troll, which, for clarity's sake, I have not seen.
Dan, they don't even say the word troll in this movie.
Exactly. They're goblins.
Yes.
They're in the town of Nilbog.
Which is?
It's goblin backwards!
Yes.
Oh my god. I can't believe you made me watch this.
Yes.
I don't like how you're basking in the glow of
Gage says that if I was a vampire, I'd be an energy vampire. This is probably why, because I am like high off the fact that you hated this movie.
I know. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, go on.
I've seen a lot of bad movies. This might be the worst. This might be worse than Jaws 3D.
How bite your tongue? No, it is worse.
Or it also might be worse than the 2011 version of Footloose, which are my two least favorite movies.
Not worse than the remake of Psycho with Vince Vaughn.
Hey, at least the script in that was good.
That's because it was a shot-for-shot remake, Dan.
Yeah, so there was actually two redeeming qualities. Sexy Vince Vaughn.
Oh, that's a sentence I've never said. Sorry, Vince Vaughn. I'm sure you're very handsome to some people. It's not.
I'm sure that he listens.
In case he does, I just want him to know. Maybe he's not attractive to me, but I'm sure he has a large fan base of thirst.
He's from Chicago. I'm, in quotes, from Chicago.
Sorry, I forgot all people from the state of Illinois are certified 10s. Certified freaks 7 days a week. My bad.
I heard the Kids Bop version of WAP recently.
Is that real? Is it a real thing?
It's real, yeah. And it sounds so much dirtier because they replaced like half of the lyrics.
I'm taking a look really quick.
Yeah. It's so weird. While Anna takes a look, we could say that she is gobbling and swallowing the content of Kids Bop. We're going to get into
Let's get into this film.
So the movie opens up with our intrepid little boy, Joshua. He's talking to his dead grandfather.
It's giving me some serious Princess Bride vibes, you know, like they were really trying to get Fred Savage, but he was unavailable, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Right? Is Fred Savage in that movie? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's Fred Savage and then Old Man.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, his dead grandfather is reading him a story.
We don't know he's
creepy
dead.
Story. That's true. Not yet. Well, he's dead. And we find out it's not a story. It's real. He's telling him a story about how goblins are evil and want to eat all human beings and all that jazz. The story is that it's kind of like a Robin Hood looking ass.
I don't
is
know.
running through the forest.
The guy's name is Peter. It was giving me Peter and the Wolf vibes.
Yeah. He's running through the forest. He sees a beautiful woman who makes him drink a shamrock shake is the best way that I could describe it.
Don't slander the name of a shamrock shake like that. It was some nasty, creamy-looking Jell-O, nasty whipped cream. I would never. Let me just say that right now. My tongue could be drying out. I don't think I would eat that.
But as it turns out, the pretty woman is actually a goblin.
Aren't we all?
And when they drink it, it makes the person turn into basically liquid vegetables. Is the
My
best way that it's
nightmare.
described?
It like turns your blood into vegetables, but you can also like start turning into a tree or something.
Yeah, and you start sweating vegetables.
I'm always sweating vegetables. Eat one green bean and I'm sweating. Ugh.
So yes, that story isn't a story; it's real life. And then
Super scary.
we see Joshua's sister Holly, and she is wearing a weight belt while bench pressing.
It's a
which is a
look.
confusing. It's definitely a look. Weight belts don't help when you're bench pressing.
I also just feel nervous about the fact that she was bench pressing without a spotter. I don't know, maybe that's just because in high school I had it drilled into my mind that I would get pinned under the bar, which alone weighs 45 pounds, and I'm weak, so like, you know. I used to tell my parents that I could bench press the bar, and my dad was so proud of me. He's like, that's 45
Really?
pounds, yeah! Yeah. In case anyone wants to know how weak I am.
I don't bench press often. That's the end of my story.
Yep.
But sometimes when I'm feeling extra spicy and I'm at the YMCA, I will bench, and I'll bench alone, and then I'll eventually get tired and be unable to complete my set, and I'll be struggling, and without fail, an old man will run over and like pick the bar up with one hand, twirl it around in his finger, and go, you know, when I was in the Navy, someone died because of that.
I just said you should always ask one of those kindly old men to spot you, Dan. God.
I know, I should. It's always the power walking guy who is power walking in cargo pants and a polo shirt.
That is...
And I think a fisherman's vest.
I feel like that's a look into your future.
It definitely is. I'm going to look like the guy from MASH.
Oh, gosh.
I don't remember his name. It's McLean Stevenson is the actor.
Oh, God, Dan. Well, anyway, bench pressing.
Anyway.
Always have a buddy.
She's bench pressing, and then her boyfriend, who is the Christmas author, who I will only refer to as Nativity from now on.
Nativity? That's...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He breaks into her window and scares her.
Just keep going. If I huff and puff over every single stupid thing that happens in this movie... First of all, can I just say her reactions to him are so hot and cold. One minute she's like,
right?
I'll kill you for doing that. And the next minute she's like, oh, I love you. Like, it's so... But there's no breaks in the acting. That, like, happens in one sentence. I also...
she...
Go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go ahead. I was going to keep going with the plot.
I was going to say I really hate how his family... She's like, my dad doesn't like you because you hang out with your friends. What? Your dad wants him to be... Literally, wait, what? You don't remember that?
No, I'm reacting. That doesn't make any sense.
I know. Like, I think my parents would be concerned if I was like, this is my boyfriend. He doesn't have any friends.
Yeah.
I'm his only friend.
Right? We're going to spend all our time together.
Oh, God. No. So anyway, I just think it's so dumb that that's a plot point. My dad hates that you're always with your friends. Okay, like, good luck finding a boyfriend. Like,
yeah. So she basically gives him an ultimatum because she thinks that he hangs out with his friends too much, and I guess as we see throughout the movie, he maybe does hang out with them a tad too much.
But like when you're in high school, who else are you gonna hang out with? You know, like
yeah. So she kicks him. She insinuates that he's gay because he hangs out with his friends all the time.
Oh.
And then he's like, no. And then she kicks him in the nuts and is like, what about now?
She literally says, she goes, I don't even remember what the context is, but in my notes I just have, your little nuts. That's what she says. And I don't think she insinuates that he's gay. She literally goes, you're a homosexual.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not an insinuation.
I can't. Anyway, she just. Oh God. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this episode without dying. Like, I genuinely don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, Dan, I have something to say coming up about this next scene anyway.
What? Okay, the next scene.
When they're traveling and leaving.
Yeah, the next scene is the family is driving to the town of Nilbog, which is, in case you didn't realize, goblin spelled backwards. They're doing an exchange, a kind of foreign exchange with, I assume, a town that's 45 minutes away from them.
Yeah.
Where the farmers from the farm town of Nilbog will live in the family's house for a weekend, and the family will live in the farmer's house for the weekend. It's a very white thing to do.
I love the holiday.
Yeah, it's a holiday.
My favorite Jack Black movie. I'm dead serious about that last part. But anyway.
So the family, they're driving to Nilbog on their holiday trip.
Starring Jack Black.
I'm just going to say that the holiday is Casimir Pulaski Day.
Oh, God.
And as they're driving, the sister, Holly, is sobbing in the back seat.
She does
absolutely sobbing.
God.
Because she gave him an ultimatum that either meet up with the family when they travel, or she's breaking up with him. And he didn't meet up, so she's breaking up with him. But little does she know, he didn't meet up with her because he and his friends got an RV and are driving to meet them in Nilbog.
And to get some of those Nilbog hotties.
I'm trying to remember. It's not like nymphatic virgins, but it's something like that.
I mean, that's how they act in. Like,
yeah,
I don't remember. But oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say they describe the women in Nilbog as like nymphatic virgins.
Pretty much
that they're looking for.
They're like there's a line later on that comes up that's like, it's Arnold deflowering one of Nilbog's virgins. Yeah. Or it's Arnold getting deflowered by a Nilbog hottie. And I'm like, God. No, but my personal favorite line from this scene is when they're all in the car and the sister's freaking out and the dad's getting mad and the mom turns to Joshua and goes, sing that song I like so much. And it's row, row, row your boat. I'm like, that song I like so much, and it's a classic children's tune. Like, oh my God.
The mother in the film is played like she is constantly seeing a murder happen in front of her.
Oh my God, her face.
And yet must continue to act like a regular human being.
Yes.
She is not in the movie that it's hard to stand out in Troll 2 as an exceptionally bad performance.
Yeah.
Yet it can be done. It can be done.
It's hard, but not impossible. Not impossible.
And she was not a mental patient. She had her full capacity, her full
She was good. She did not smoke herself out before starting the movie. Unless she took a hit, you never know.
Yeah. On their drive there, Joshua sees his dead grandpa on the side of the road and jumps out of the car because he's telling him, you can't go to Nilbog. You can't do that.
This kid needs to go to therapy. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I think he did go to therapy. I think.
You're right. They did say he did go to. Yeah. Well, he should not have stopped.
He's
got some grief, some issues connected to that grief.
Yeah.
My dude. I don't know. This is a pro therapy podcast. I'm saying he should go to therapy.
So they end up getting to Nilbog because Joshua can't convince his parents that it's bad to go because his dad really, really, really wants to live like it's olden times.
So they drive 40 minutes up the road,
Yeah.
2 towns over. Like,
That's like when you're in grade school and they take you on a field trip to the one-room schoolhouse reenactment that
God.
they have.
you mean Old
And they have
World
the actor-
Wisconsin? Yes.
They have the actor who's paid to yell at you like they're an old-timey school teacher, and they have you write on slate.
Yes.
And they make you sit on the milking chair for punishment.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Triggered.
It's a universal experience.
It is. It is.
Yeah. So they arrive in Nilbog, and when they get there, they are greeted by the family that they are exchanging with.
Greeted, Dan? That's the understatement of the century. They're like grunted at.
Yes. They cross paths with the family.
They're 2 ships passing in the night.
And the family that they meet is not happy to see them. In fact, they're not happy at all. They basically say nothing and leave.
They grunt at them pretty much. They're like,
I
we
know.
have all the comforts of home. We have a microwave, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Ugh." And the little boy throws a baseball to Joshua, right?
Yeah.
God. And the words written on it are clearly made with a hot glue gun that had green Sharpie colored over it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. What did it say? Eat up before we eat you, or something like that?
Yeah.
Why
I
are
think
they-
that's basically it.
If I was a goblin, I would go up to that little boy goblin and be like, you really dicked us, you know that? You really dicked us. We were going to eat them.
Yeah, that's the opposite of burying the lead there. You basically threw the lead up in the air. It was like, look at this. You put it on a pedestal.
Literally threw it to his hands. You threw the lead into this boy's hands.
So the family's name that they're exchanging with, they're called the Presents. Because they really are a gift.
They are.
So the family, they find food. I think there's a feast laid out for them.
Yeah,
by
they're like,
family,
the
right?
country.
Yeah.
What was it they said? So that's country. What am I trying to say?
That's a country.
Hospitality.
There you go.
That's country hospitality for you. I'm like, has nobody noticed? I want to know what the budget was for green food coloring
I think
for this movie.
I think that they only bought a lot of lime jello
Ew.
and just put that over everything.
No. Like, but like some of the stuff is like donuts and stuff and liquid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you make the donuts, you throw the gelatin in there.
I guess. I was thinking they were just keeping a bottle of green food coloring on them and just putting a couple drops into everything. But like, seriously, if I was showing up at someone's house and everything was green, I'd be like, something's going on here. Like, this isn't a kid's birthday party that's, I don't know, the color green themed. Like, why is everything green?
The only food that I ever want to be artificially green is corned beef and hash.
Amen.
On St. Patrick's Day.
Amen.
That's it.
Amen. I agree with you.
Otherwise, okay, I have to say a Shamrock Shake is naturally green.
It is. It's
because the
shamrocks.
toxic waste that they flavor it with.
Oh, I was
that
saying
is
because they
green.
put shamrocks in it. I have seen 2 different TikToks that told me I was going to hell based on 2 different foods that I like, and one of them was because I like mint chip ice cream. Maybe that's because that's green.
What was the other one?
Salt and vinegar chips.
Okay, well, you are.
No!
And they're just informing you.
No! I love they popped up on my For You page. I was like, who did this? Is this God?
It's for you. It's for you.
God did that to me. He said change
The
your ways, and I
algorithm's
said
name
no.
is Yahweh.
Literally.
So the family goes down to eat the feast when suddenly Grandpa appears outside.
Because he
and
always
he's like,
does.
Joshua, you can't have them eat the food. Joshua, if you do, they'll be eaten by the goblins. And Joshua's like, what do I do? What do I do?
He says
and
he
then
has 30
somebody in the
seconds.
background.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say he says he has 30
Sorry.
seconds to. What?
Yeah. Well, I was making a stupid Scott Pilgrim reference.
Oh,
'cause I
I'm
watched
so
Scott
sorry.
Pilgrim recently.
Love Scott Pilgrim.
It's fine. No, it's fine. Walk over my dreams,
I will, with high heels.
please, and thank you. Oh, great.
It'll
This is
be
an
like
anti-simp podcast.
this will be like the end of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie when they're singing the Gooby Goober Rock and Patrick is wearing like fishnets and thigh-high boots. That's me walking on your
Yeah.
dreams.
So the grandpa has a previously unforeseen power of freezing time, as Anna said.
Love that. I hope that's what my superpower is when I'm a superpower is when I'm a ghost.
Your superpower is adding an extra syllable to every word,
Yeah, probably.
as evidenced by P-hour.
Deanna.
Yeah, Noah.
Yep, that's my name.
That's it.
Don't wear it out.
Okay, I won't. So, Joshua, being a precocious child,
Ugh.
does what any child would do. Does he throw the food onto the ground? No. Does
Stomp
he,
on it.
light the food on fire, stomp on it? No.
Throw it in the
Anna, what does he do?
He potties on it.
He
pees
pisses on
it.
the dinner.
I'm sorry. I spent the whole day with dogs, which are essentially children. He relieves himself, Dan.
And this is the point where I first turned off the movie.
Yeah, because you texted me, because I was texting you about the movie, and you were like, he's peeing on the food right now, and I went, yeah. Yes, he is, Dan.
That was 3 days ago. I didn't finish this movie until 5:30 today.
You could have just pushed through, Dan. That was your own fault.
Okay.
Did Anna watch it with you, or were you riding
No,
solo?
she did not.
Gage didn't
I
watch
watched
it with
this
me
during
either.
the workday.
Yeah, Gage didn't watch it with me either. I was just curious if we had supportive significant others. Apparently not. No, I'm kidding.
Apparently not. Oh, that's the name of my old radio show.
I know. I used to listen to it.
I know. Thank you for being the only listener.
You're welcome.
So, after he does a number one on...
Are we just going to go through the ways to say goes to the bathroom?
Yes, after he empties the old gas tank
After
on
he
the
takes
family's
a leak
dinner.
on the family's dinner.
I think my favorite scene, very short scene in the movie happens.
Oh, God.
The dad takes him upstairs and starts loosening his belt.
And they're all yelling, "Don't beat him!" And the sister's
Don't
like,
beat
"He
him."
should be beaten for what he's done." And I'm like, "Wow, the '90s really were a bad time, huh?"
Yeah. And the kid's like, "What are you gonna do?" And the dad's like, "I'm tightening my belt because we're not eating dinner tonight." That's it.
I don't want to have to feel hunger pains. If you're going on a hunger strike, so am I. And you know what? I was hungry when I was young. We didn't have food. I photosynthesized. So if you think you're going to win this battle, you're not. That's what the dad says.
Yeah. Oh my god. to which I respond, "Okay, boomer.
Yeah,
you definitely
literally.
had food growing up."
Literally. I'm like, you mean, oh God. Y'all didn't just drive to the next town over to see if they had a grocery store or something? Or like,
Yeah.
they really expected the fridge to be stocked before they got there? I'd be bringing my own food, you know? I don't know.
Right?
I would also...
Make a quick stop at the Pick and Save on the way there.
Yeah, absolutely. The quick trip. Gotta load up on some snacks. Yeah,
On some snacks.
some snacks.
So we then go to the B plot of this movie, which is just the boys doing boy things.
Boys' night!
And what is happening in the boys' night? Well, Arnold, who is the only person that you may have actually seen from this movie before. Arnold, he decides to,
Patrol for
take a little trip.
chicks.
Troll for chicks. Find a girl, take her home, and to use the parlance of the film, I'm not gonna say it.
A newborn virgin.
You
You don't like the term deflower?
That's my moist.
I mean, it's absolutely sexist and horrible, but it's
It's
not.
horrible.
It's not like my moist, you know. My moist is the word quiver. I hate it. I shouldn't have even said it. It's making the hairs on my neck stand up.
I think I have turned Anna Horst's moist into the word gobble.
Gobble me, swallow me, drip gravy down the side of me.
So Arnold, he goes for a walk outside of Nilbog, and he discovers a young Nilbog nymph. A pretty one.
Don't call women nymphs! Oh, Dan, no!
Hey, she's not a human woman.
Yeah, she is.
We learned that. No, she's not.
That girl is.
Is she? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well,
the one at the beginning wasn't human.
Yeah, I apologize to her.
It's okay. She's a human nymph, please.
She's trying to escape from goblins. Okay, now I remember. And Arnold is like, okay, I got this. Using the undue straight white man confidence that he has.
Amen. Undeserved.
Right? Oh my god. He walks up to the goblins straight up and he's like, hey guys, let's stop this.
And she really feels safe behind that little turd. Like,
right?
I don't know.
He looks like the Blue Power Ranger. I actually thought it was the same actor who played the Blue Power Ranger for a second.
Oh
it's
boy.
Not.
Oh boy.
Don't worry.
All these white men looking the same.
But the goblins, they actually react as I would hope they would react. They stab him with a spear.
I mean, probably the move I would have made if I was a goblin.
Right. It's the wokest part of the film.
Mm-hmm. He's like,
and I am all for it.
Let's just be friends. And they're like, ah! And they stab him. Goblin talk, stab.
Goblin me, swablin me.
Yes.
As, I'll say, as I am on an equal white plane in my straight white manness,
yes,
as
this
Arnold
hetero
is,
white boy.
Yes, I will say that the goblins did the correct move here.
Yes, thank you for continuing.
He deserved it as we deserve it.
Yes.
So, in order to find help, the girl and Arnold, they escape into the woods to a chapel in the woods.
But they call it a house.
Right? It's
I
a church.
Literally said, I was like, that is a church. They wanted it to be a house, but the only thing they had available in the area where they were filming was an abandoned church.
Yeah. And when they get in there, they encounter, quote, the Goblin's Queen, Druid Witch Credence Leonore Gielgud.
Honestly,
is that how it's pronounced?
I have no idea. Honestly, though,
I don't know.
a vibe, a mood. I
Right.
am the Goblin Queen.
Goblin Queen, Swablin Queen.
Ew. Ew. I also, second only to the green food dye budget. What was the dry ice budget for this film?
That's where all the money was. They didn't have to pay the actors.
Did they?
So that's where all the money went.
They really didn't?
I think they did.
Oh, okay.
They probably paid them.
$5.
Yeah, I think I would say SAG rates, but it's definitely way below SAG rates.
Guys, we're gonna pay you $5 and all the lime jello you can eat.
Yeah, there's a ton of craft services.
Yeah.
However, we do have this thing. The director, he's got this weird thing where he can only eat green foods. So I hope you like lime Skittles.
Yeah, for real. Oh, hope you're cool with like green tongues, green poop,
Right.
sweating green.
Ew. So the Goblin Druid Witch Queen.
Let's call her Anna.
She uses. Okay, Anna
No,
uses
kidding.
the Stonehenge Magic Stone to control the goblins.
Yes.
It's not explained anymore from that,
No.
but that's really all you need to know.
They don't really tell us much.
So the Anna says that she can help Arnold and the girl. She can fix them if they drink this magic potion.
Okay, this woman, her teeth also look, let me fixate on some teeth for a second. Look the way my teeth do when I accidentally get lipstick on my Invisaligns. That's all I can think of. I was like, girl, you got a little lipstick. A little lipstick on your teeth.
Excuse me, miss. Ma'am, no, ma'am.
Ma'am, quick, take this Kleenex. Fix your teeth.
So she tricks them into drinking the
Goblin juice.
vegetable drink, goblin juice. That's a good way to put it. Also known as Coors Light, or a Shamrock Shake.
Yeah, those things have changed, and not for the good.
Yeah. And Arnold, he sees the young woman turn into a vat of green.
That is some of the most dramatic ass, drawn out shit I've ever seen.
Right?
She's like, and she's running behind walls. She's laying on the ground. I'm like, they really said, ham it up, my dude. And she said, say no more. And she did.
It is best described as the death scene in Romeo and Juliet as portrayed by the one student in middle school who swears that they're going to star on Broadway and this is their time to shine.
Stop coming for me.
And the director is scared of them because they have way too much confidence for a 13-year-old.
Stop coming for me. Just kidding. I was very insecure as 13. But still. Oh. But anyway.
Is the but still that you are still insecure as a 13-year-old, or
I'm
that,
still insecure
but
in my
still,
13-year-old
this is how it
self.
is? Yeah.
Also, but still, that was me.
So, Arnold, the goblins start eating her, and Arnold, seeing this, gives, I'll say, his Oscar performance, his Oscar-worthy moment.
Is there an award higher than an Oscar? Because I think that's what this is deserving of, truly, you know?
He gets an EGOT. He gets an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony
Automatically.
for this role.
Yeah.
Actually, just for this line read.
Yes.
He goes, they're eating her, and then they're going to eat me. Oh my gosh! I had to specify. He says gosh.
Yeah.
He yells, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Did you like how I said it with you?
I do. Thank you for doing
You're
that.
welcome. I just mouthed along. I had to. Oh,
Yeah,
the words just
it's-
flew to my mouth, my lips. It was everything.
You could say they just dripped out
They
the mouth
gobbled
of you.
me and swallowed me. Dripped gravy down the side of me.
Arnold, also, when he's saying that, he has a fly on his forehead.
Yeah. How very Mike Pence at the most recent debate of him.
Actually, no, not the most recent debate. As we're recording this, what was supposed to be third presidential debate is going on. It ended up being the second. This will go up a week after we record it. But as it is going on right now, I will give mine and Anna's thoughts together on the debate, which is just screaming into the void
Oh, God.
forever.
Don't even get me started. Anyway, friends, I already voted. I hope Dan already
I
voted.
did too. I voted the day that early voting started
Me too.
in Wisconsin.
Me too.
So when we're recording this, I don't know if early voting will have ended, but Election Day is on November 3rd. So
If you haven't
go
voted,
out,
go vote.
rock the vote. If you have voted, don't vote again.
Yeah.
That's a federal crime.
Please don't do illegal things, but definitely vote if you haven't yet. It's important.
Yes.
It may not
and that has
feel like
been-
your vote is important, but it definitely is.
The only way your vote isn't important is if you leave everything blank.
Oh,
Otherwise,
God.
it's important.
Yeah.
Unlike me, because I wrote in Kanye West for everything.
Did you really, Dan?
No,
Oh,
no,
thank
of course I
God.
didn't.
I was about to be like, Dan, if he's our president, I'm going to blame you for everything. Oh,
As is warranted.
God.
So, now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Yes.
So, the next morning, the family realizes that the only food they have is warm milk.
Oh, God. And she's like, can we just say the mom's like, this is at least a week old.
As she's pouring it out,
Does
it
she
just
mean
looks like normal
A
milk.
week past its expiration date? Because, like, a week old from the grocery store, then you
That's
like
still
that's
good.
not bad. It shouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Like if you bought milk with that close of an expiration date, you should be checking the expiration dates closer.
Yeah. I never have to worry about that because I go through milk like a gosh darn fiend.
Oh gosh.
And so Joshua and the dad, they go to the town store to get some food. And as there's none in their holiday home, as the synopsis says. So when they get into town, they find the general store closed, and that's disappointing for them. But don't worry. Michael, the dad, he falls asleep on a bench.
Yep.
As all good dads do.
Yes.
So Joshua, being a precocious little 9-year-old, climbs into the rafters of a church and eavesdrops on the church sermon.
Yes. Go on.
There are some questions about this church sermon. One, they're goblins. Why are they all in human form?
Yeah, why didn't they pull witches and like take their skin off? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Two, this seems like a fairly... I get as the audience was to be like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is like a fairly fine preacher speech. I mean, it kind of veers off when he's talking about
Goblin things.
because goblin things, but overall he's like how people eating meat is bad for them. I'm like, that's I mean,
this is all factual.
meat isn't in excess isn't good for you, and they're talking about in excess eating, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't agree with the medium, but maybe the content that you're saying is fine right there, Mr. Sermon giver.
As a person
Joel
who
Osteen.
oh no. As a person who eats meat, I would agree. Yeah, meat is not great for me, and I should be making better choices. You right, my dude.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The pastor, I'll call him, who's giving the sermon, looks like a cross between Joel Osteen and George Lucas, and also 1980s Stephen King when he is coked out of his mind and doesn't remember anything.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't remember writing Cujo. You right.
Yeah. Oh, no. The sermon, the pastor, you've seen Die Hard, right?
No, actually.
Oh, okay. So he looks like the guy in Die Hard who's trying to sweet talk his way with the terrorists. So when we talk about Die Hard, which I feel like we will eventually.
At Crimbus.
Yes. Thank you for listening to In Conclusion, everybody. This has been the first and last bad movie night. Goodbye.
No.
So back to the movie. The parishioners find Joshua because they see a skateboard roll into the church. And they try to force him to eat some goblin ice cream, which is just a shamrock shake.
Children
I know
love
I've made jokes
ice
about this
cream.
before.
Like, it literally is. That's literally, they went to the
Yeah.
McDonald's on the corner, and that's what they served up. The one day the shake machine wasn't broken.
Yeah, so Michael walks in, and he's like, what's going on here? And they're like, we're just trying to get him to eat some ice cream. And
as a parent, now I have no children, so correct me if I'm wrong, parents of the world. Wouldn't
Okay.
you be a little you don't have kids either, Dan. Wouldn't you be a little shook if you walked in and your kid was being held, like arms out, and people were trying to force feed him?
Mouth held open.
Yeah, and people were trying to force feed him even ice cream, like anything. I'd be like, you can't force my kid to do something they don't want to do. Unless they're doing, like, being a brat and you, like, ask them to help, I don't know, set up a room for a party or something and they're being a brat about it. Like, when it comes to food and stuff, yeah, you can't force my kid to eat anything. But
Yeah. Now,
forcing them to be a good person, please do.
I'm not a parent, but I come from a long line of parents.
Yes, as most people do.
Yes, and what I can say is that if I walked in and saw my son basically being hog-tied by hands, I would probably react with like, they're probably just trying to get him to eat his ice cream. Because, kids love ice cream.
Kids do.
And I'd be all for it.
Yeah,
on
open
a
his mouth
related note-
wider.
Yeah. Make sure he gobbles it and swallows it.
Oh no.
Okay, we have officially proven that WAP is the most timely and relevant song
Absolutely.
in any circumstance.
I love WAP. I love it.
So, cut back to just the dudes. Drew, who is another one of the dudes, he goes back into town. He goes into town from the RV because he's like, oh man, we didn't bring any food.
Honestly, this is the one I would have been. Snacky.
He also asks, yo, where's the blue Power Ranger whose name I can't
Arnold.
remember? Where's
The
Arnold?
only people whose names I remembered from this movie going into were Arnold and Elliot, the boyfriend.
Where's Arnold? And the other boys reply,
I'm sleeping, leave me alone.
that's
Oh,
not
wait.
the reply, Anna.
That he's probably deflowering some Nilbog chicks? Question mark.
Yes, that's it.
My bad. They were sleeping.
I
I
know they
remember
were
being
sleeping.
especially shocked because most of the time I thought, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but are dudes generally weird about sharing beds?
Absolutely.
Why? Girls don't care.
Because it's toxic masculinity.
Oh yeah, you're right. I
baby.
forgot. I was so blissfully ignorant for a second. I forgot toxic masculinity existed. But yeah, no, I remember being flabbergasted that these two dudes were so comfortable with themselves that they were sharing a bed. I was like, wow.
I was too, because earlier in the movie, the girl asks Elliot, "What are you, a homosexual?" And I'm like, I thought this movie would be really anti that. Be
Yeah.
really like, no, not the gays.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I remember being surprised that teens weren't weird about that.
Yeah, shockingly, the direct-to-video Troll 2 has not aged well.
It's not
in that
woke.
sense.
Yeah.
It's not woke.
Shockingly. There's no underlying
so-
plots about equality or love is love.
So Drew gets picked up by the sheriff, Gene Freak.
His last name is Freak.
Who I
7
think
days
is
a
just
week,
Smokey.
I mean. Come on,
Oh
my dude.
gosh. He's really trying to be Smokey from Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, God.
And the sheriff gives him a green hamburger, like all cops
And
have
he
in their
takes
car at
the
all times.
tiniest little niblet of it that I've ever
I
seen
know.
somebody. I mean, like, honestly, if somebody gave me a sandwich that I didn't know, I probably wouldn't eat it. But
Yeah.
he takes, like, when SpongeBob goes, the only people who don't like Krabby Patties are the people who've never tried it, Squidward, and he, like, squishes out his teeth and takes the tiniest niblet. Yeah, that's what that reminded me of. I'll post a picture on Instagram, don't worry.
Oh, good. So when Drew gets into town, he actually goes into the town store, and the owner is the mental patient on leave, who, I will say, gives a very good performance.
Eggs?
I definitely buy it.
Dan, you skipped over something very important to me, near and dear to my heart.
What is
It's
it?
when Drew gets out of the car and he goes, "Hey, wait, officer, where are all the Nilbog chicks?" And the officer goes, "Girls, ha 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 ha." And then you turn, and as Drew's walking into the store, it's a crowd of middle-aged men all laughing at him. I was like, ew. That's the most horrifying thing. That's my personal nightmare. Like, let's just be honest.
Oh, my. Yeah, I think my brain is trying to suppress the memory of this movie.
Don't rush it, Dan.
So,
Savor every moment.
okay, I'm really not trying to.
But, okay, and then when he's in the store, this is what I Snapchatted to Gage, because he wasn't home when we watched it. Or when I watched it.
Uh-huh.
Background.
The royal we.
Yes. Background, Gage hates eggs. He thinks they're gross.
Okay.
That's all you need to
Weird.
know. He just
Is he a
doesn't-
child?
Pretty much. No, I'm kidding. He just doesn't like eggs. But there's the guy who owns the shop. Drew goes, "Don't you have any eggs?" And he goes, "Eggs? Ick." And I said that to Gage. I thought it was so funny. I was dying. Gage was like, "It's me." I was on the couch just rolling. I was rafflecoptering, as the kids say. Not that they say it anymore, but you know what I mean. Oh, God,
Yeah,
I was deceased.
Yeah, Drew goes into the store and he goes, do you have any bacon? He's like, no bacon.
Oh,
And then eggs? Eggs? Ick. He's like, what do you have? We got milk.
we skipped over how he asks if there's coffee, and the guy goes, "That's Satan's drink." I was crying. I was like, "This is the best writing in this whole film." Oh, okay. Just want to make sure we got that nitty gritty detail because that's so funny to me.
So Drew starts feeling dizzy, and he runs out of the store. He goes to find Arnold, and Kyle's like, he's probably in the... Or, no, Arnold sends for him, in quotes. And he's like, it's easy to cut through the forest, only about a mile from here. And I'm like, do we give a direction of which way?
No, just walk into the forest blindly.
Okay, Hansel and Gretel.
Don't leave leave a trail of burger crumbs behind you. Green burger crumbs.
Welcome to Green Burger, home of the Green Burger. Can I take your order? And
I love Keenan and Kel.
So...
Oh, wait.
he
Were they in
ends
that
up-
movie?
Keenan and Kel?
Yeah. Okay, good. Just making sure. I had a brain fart. Continue.
Okay. So he finds out, he goes into the chapel, and he finds Arnold, who has mutated into a tree.
Oh, my God.
Ba-da.
But, like,
And
I was getting...
But it's not really.
Do you think... Who directed Midsummer?
Ari Aster?
Do you think he watched Troll 2 and was like, yeah, I gotta put that in this film. I gotta put that in Midsummer.
this is it.
This is it.
This is
I'm
it.
turning people into trees.
Right?
Because I was... Yeah,
Where's the bear? I was waiting for someone to turn into a bear.
yeah, for real. Oh, God, Midsummer. I did not like that movie. Anyway.
I haven't seen Midsummer. I've seen all the memes
Dan,
about it, though.
I know you're scared
Okay.
of scary movies, but it's not scary. Just watch it.
I know, and I love Florence Pugh,
Yeah.
so I really should have seen it.
It's weird. It's not scary, though.
But my favorite thing about that is people taking screenshots of it. It's like, oh, this summer camp looks so fun. When can I go?
Yeah, honestly, the scariest thing about it was how I didn't... I read a bunch of articles, and I guess this was the common thing, but, like, it's just how it makes you feel at the end. But anyway, welcome back to our Midsummer podcast.
Yes. Our Midsummer podcast, A Midsummer's Night Scream.
Ooh, hated that.
So, thank you. Arnold's a tree.
Yes.
Drew walks up to Arnold and goes, hey, Arnold, what's your favorite kind of math? And, of course, Arnold responds with, gee, I'm a tree. And then the audience laughs, and it goes executive producer Dick Wolf, roll credits. Anna is currently staring daggers at me right now.
You just said so many things, and I hate you for all of them.
Thank you.
The geometry
So-
joke, man. I got extra credit on a math test once for answering that joke correctly.
Was it in statistics?
I don't know. It was in high school,
Oh.
though, so maybe. Wait, we had the
'cause
same,
we had the same stats professor in college.
statistics, yes, statistics teacher.
So Arnold tells him to drag him out. He's in a pot, by the way. I didn't know you could grow
Macaroni
trees
in
in
a
a
pot.
flower pot.
You can
That's
some trees, like if it's an indoor pine or something, like a little tree.
I'm sorry, because you said macaroni in a pot. I'm trying to figure out a way to continue that.
Oh, I'm sorry,
so
I'm walking all over
macaroni-
your jokes today.
You're good. Macaroni in a pot. Okay, you know the Ents from Lord of the Rings? The trees. They're called the Ents, the talking trees.
Oh, now I know.
That's some... Okay, macaroni in a pot. That's some Ent-ass... Arnold?
Prosthetics.
No. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Gage
okay.
always makes fun of me because whenever we watch Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit or something, I only like the parts where they're happy and eating or singing songs, and then I don't want to watch the rest of the movies.
Oh my god. Yeah, that reads. That fits.
I'm like, ugh, I'm done.
So, as he's dragging Arnold out of there, Creedence Clearwater Revival appears.
God.
And she knocks Drew out and then chainsaws Arnold into pieces.
Yeah.
And,
They do be like that sometimes, Arnold.
and Drew is also killed at that time.
Rip.
So then cut back to the A plot. At the house, the family all come back and they're
Why
like...
did I...
I thought
What'd
you
you think
were
I
talking about
said?
the 2 boys that were still sleeping. I thought you said cutting back to the gay plot. And I was like, what? I was like, I wish. Like, can there be? That would make this movie better.
Right? That's the subtext throughout the whole movie.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, this movie is actually a metaphor for coming out. In no way whatsoever.
Yeah, not at all.
So they come back to the house and they're like, what's this? Why are all of the town in this home? As it turns out, they've thrown a party for them.
And the cakes say eat up on them. Like,
yeah.
not suspicious at all. At all.
Of course, the family sees nothing wrong with this. Except for Joshua, who runs up into the bedroom and tries to contact his dead grandpa again.
Gets out his Ouija board.
Yes. And when he does, his grandpa doesn't appear, but Bad Moon Rising, Creedence Clearwater Revival appears. And she jumps out and attacks him through the mirror.
Yeah, oh god. That's like my worst nightmare. I'm so scared of mirrors though, low key. But in this movie, all the jump scares are so poorly executed that I am not scared. Can I just say, the soundtrack in this film slaps.
It slaps. It's great. It's by far the best thing.
It is. Like, every time the goblins are fighting, the music, it, like, swells. And I love it. Yeah. I'm like, yes! Anyway.
Joshua, being a little baby boy, can't defend himself, but his grandpa appears, popping out of where the mirror was.
His other ghost powers, super strength.
Yeah. And also becoming a human being, apparently, and chops her hand off with an axe.
Yes, correct. These are all facts.
Yeah, these are factual statements, or as the youth say, big moves.
Yes. She's got green blood.
Yeah.
I think.
Creedence goes back to her chapel, where she turns herself into a woman in beautiful clothing.
She also literally just took off the Invisaligns that had makeup on them.
Yeah. And put on garters.
Yeah, and like did her makeup a little better.
But also at this time, the pastor and the grandpa get into a fight outside. A tussle where the pastor's like, I'll send you back to where you came from hell! And then Joshua is like, are you actually in hell? And then the grandpa's like, nah, but somebody who was there taught me this.
Oh, God.
Which raises more questions than answers.
Truly. And then he sets the pastor on fire, and the fire turns the pastor back to his true goblin-y state.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty sick.
So then, well, also what we didn't mention is that Seth, it was the grandpa, and Joshua tried to cause a distraction in the party by, I don't know, lighting and throwing a Molotov cocktail in there.
Yeah, this kid's got some psychological issues he needs to sort out.
Absolutely.
Because that's a hazard to himself and others. It's time to investigate on some further help for him.
Mm-hmm. So after the grandpa disappears and turns the man into a goblin, the family gets surrounded by the goblins and they're held hostage. And then we're into the RV. In, I think, what is Anna's favorite scene. Because,
beyond my favorite scene, Dan. It's the
so Creedence,
scene.
She is trying to seduce Brent, who is another friend.
Trying to or succeeding in seducing?
Very easily succeeding in seducing Brent.
Yes.
So what she does is she has an ear of corn, because that's what all the boys love.
My corn brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
What a big ear.
Yeah. Yup, that's what the boys say.
But Brent, no, he's not an Iowan. he doesn't just want regular corn. He prefers popcorn.
But like, you can't make popcorn from just a regular ear of corn, can you? Doesn't it have to be a special
No.
kind?
Yeah, you have to grow a different kind of corn.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because they just brought in like the old steamin' kind of corn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when he says that, they immediately start making out through the corn.
Hate it.
Really
but also I
gobbling
love
and
it.
swallowing
Trying
it.
to make some children of the corn.
But as they do, whoever the one PA on the set was is standing next to the cameraman with a bucket of popcorn, just throwing it on them.
Throwing it in there.
You can tell where he's standing and throwing it from. Because it's only coming from that direction, and it looks like it's being tossed underhand
It is.
from about 3 feet away.
It's like they went to the
and they-
movie theater and got one of those giant bags from when the movie theater has leftover popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they make out and they get covered in popcorn.
my
And
dream,
then-
ideal makeout situation.
So then we cut back, and the family who are trapped in the house, they start to hold a seance to try to talk to Grandpa, get him.
Oh God, this movie gets wilder and
back.
wilder with every second.
It does.
And I watched it.
And then he returns.
Yes.
He talks to them, and he's like, I can come back, but only for 10 minutes, unless you buy the premium subscription.
Yep.
And then you have me for all time.
Literally.
And so he gives Joshua a bag containing the secret weapon to use against the goblins. And the goblins, they break into the house. They take Joshua. It's very sad. It's very heart-wrenching. Joshua's being ripped away from his family. Wait, no, it's not. They just take Joshua to Credence's chapel, and that's where he opens the bag. And he figures out what the secret weapon is. Anna, what's the weapon?
Hang on, I have to check my notes. I feel like I'm
I thought this would be ingrained in your mind.
No. I don't know if I have it in my notes. I don't have it in my notes. What is it, Dan?
Well, fear not.
I'm
It
not.
is a double-decker bologna
Oh
sandwich.
my God! Yes, it's all clear to me now because he said it was a double-decker bologna sandwich, but it had like 20 pieces of bologna on it. I was like,
Yes.
double-decker? Wouldn't that just be 2 slices?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be like one slice, a middle piece of
Yeah.
bread, and then another slice?
But it's not. It's literally just 2 pieces of bread with 20 pieces of bologna in between.
It doesn't look like a double-decker bologna sandwich. It looks like somebody cut a quarter of a long salami and just plopped it in the middle of 2 pieces of bread.
Yeah.
It's like, here, eat this.
Okay, it's all coming together now because this is the point where I put in my notes. Is this movie vegan propaganda? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh,
Well, I think it's anti-vegan
It is
propaganda. And
anti-vegan.
it failed.
It did
It
fail.
was really bad at it.
I know plenty of vegans, and also this movie sucks.
Yeah.
It just said, I was like, the toxins.
Yeah. So Joshua, he eats the sandwich.
Everyone is shook.
Yeah, and he touches the Stonehenge stone, and then he gets the rest of his family to touch the Stonehenge stone. So they kind of do the Cromwell magic thing, where they all hold hands together, and that's when they have all their power.
Power
and
of
it
4,
banishes,
baby.
Yeah, it banishes Credence and all the goblins. They are destroyed.
Murdered.
Nah, hey, bye-bye, and then the family get in the car and drive home.
As though nothing has happened.
Yeah. So don't worry, that's not the end, though.
Oh, no, it's not. But wait, there's
Because
more.
all good movies end with one final scare.
One final cliffhanger.
One shining moment. And what happens is they get home.
Mm-hmm.
The dad goes, I gotta swing by the office.
Because of course he does. He
So-
sounds like he's always
of course
grinding.
I do. Oh yeah, he's a dentist. He's always grinding your molars down.
Yeah.
And then the sister and the boyfriend, they go to, I assume, have a child. I don't know.
They go to make out point.
Yeah. Ooh. So that leaves Joshua and the mom, and they go home. Joshua's going to take a nap, while the mom is going to take a shower.
Yeah.
Sounds good,
Standard.
right?
Yeah.
Sounds great. But the food that Joshua's mother was eating when they got back, it's been poisoned by the goblins.
We're all gasping. We're all shook. Nobody saw this coming because the shower is definitely
Joshua
not the
sees
most
this.
vulnerable place in your home.
Right? He sees this and he runs upstairs to his mom. But when he opens the shower, all that's there is some green slime.
And we're all screaming.
We're all screaming. Joshua turns around. He runs for his... He's saying mommy now.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees goblins in his house. And he screams. Roll credits!
Oh, honestly, what a good ending. Truthfully, what a good ending.
It is the ending is the best put together part of the movie.
Yeah, like the ending is pretty solid. I mean, it has the makings of a scary movie ending, but it's still not scary.
Yeah.
But it's on its way, you know?
Yeah. It makes logical sense.
Yeah. I can see why it would be scary, you know?
Yes, it's
it
not
works.
at all.
No, because this movie's not scary.
No. Were you scared at all?
I was
any
scared
point
that this
by
movie
anything?
got produced.
Yeah.
I was scared that somebody actively spent money on this film.
I was scared when I looked at the runtime and saw I was 35 minutes in. I'm like, this has been 5 hours
You have
of
an
my
hour
life.
left.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh.
No, it was worse than I
so-
remembered it.
Yeah. Some trivia about the movie that I haven't mentioned before. The director has said that the movie was supposed to be a comedy.
Where? Please tell me. Please point out to me one
is
funny
according to
thing in
the-
this movie.
Here's where I kind of believe him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that he meant for the main family, any of that to be any comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the hanging with the boys section,
Oh.
that is written so over the top and so stupid that there's no way that anybody could have thought, yes, this is serious right here. This is a serious moment in the film.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Like, they were supposed to be the comedic relief. But I don't think
Yeah.
I still don't think I would have classified this movie as a comedy. I could have classified it as like a scary movie with some comedic elements. You know, like
Yes.
you could argue that Jordan Peele's movies are scary movies with comedic elements,
Mm-hmm.
but like they're successful in doing so.
Yes, they're good movies.
Those are movies I enjoy watching.
I haven't seen Us because
Oh,
it was
God.
the trailer looked too scary, but
I
love Get Out. Get Out's a great
yes,
movie.
Get Out's great. Let me tell you right now. I think Gage is asleep. If he comes out here and does the Us voice, I'll kill him. I am so scared of the Us voice. I hate it. I hate it so much. Okay, yeah, I think he's sleeping. Sorry, I was
okay,
scared. I
he's
heard him
asleep.
walking out. If he did it, I would literally scream so loud it would blow out the earphones. I hate it. Oh God, it's
Mm-hmm.
worse than when he does the Pet Sematary Zelda voice. Oh God, those are the two I hate the most. I love Pet Sematary. Anyway.
Yeah. So the other trivia stuff is that in the original script, Joshua stops the family from eating the food by making a scene, by basically jumping on a chair and yelling that he's possessed.
He should have I would have just walked through the food, like stomped on it.
Yeah. So, but the day of the shoot, the director turned to Joshua and said, "Possessed? Boring. Bullshit. You piss on the table." That's the quote.
Director really got me fucked up. Okay.
The movie, okay, it was made for around $200,000 and
Really?
finished in 3 weeks over the summer of '89.
Wait, they finished them? You mean to tell me somebody edited this?
Sorry, finished filming.
Oh,
in 3
I was going to
weeks.
say, I was like,
Yeah.
not on my watch. It would have taken me a long time to edit this. I would have been sitting here going,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, the whole time.
The cast, as I said, was all Utah locals who had no acting experience. They all thought they were going to be extras. But there was only one member of the crew that spoke fluent English. Otherwise, they all spoke Italian. And the actors were only given a few pages of the script at a time.
Oh, I would hate that. I would have hated that.
And they were told to stick word for word to the script. They weren't allowed to change it to make it any more fluent. So that's why it is written as it is.
I'm exhausted.
And why I am giving the benefit to the doubt here. That's why the performances are mahogany. Very wooden, very strong wood.
Now, I try to stand by the thought that a person who speaks another language fluently and also broken English, they're already doing better than so many people who only speak one language.
Absolutely.
But, not to be judgmental, if you're gonna make a film for Americans where the predominant language, not the national language, but the predominant language is English, maybe get somebody who's fluent on hand just to give that the old once-over, 1-2 check to make sure it doesn't sound clunky. If I'm fluent in Spanish, but I'd probably still have a native speaker look over something if I was going to write a movie in.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally it would be Guillermo del Toro. But we're not.
Do you know him?
I am manifesting it. I got my Pop Funko of him over there. He's my boy. We'll get there.
You just call it a Pop Funko?
Yeah, my Funko Pop. What are they called? Pop
Okay.
Funkos.
They're Funko Pops. I've never heard it reversed.
Pop Funkos.
They're Funko Pops.
My figure of Guillermo del Toro.
My action figure.
My
Mom,
Guillermo
that's what
del
it's called.
Toro action figure. Gage bought it for me.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. What other trivia do I have? So Diane, who is the mom, calls her husband Farmer Waits. And then in the riff tracks of this movie, one of the guys starts singing "Old MacDonald Had a Farm" as Tom Waits.
This movie's so weird.
It is.
I'm still not past the sing the song I like. It's row, row, row your boat.
I know. It's, oh my gosh. If you can hear that in the background, I don't know if you can. It kind of sounds like somebody is rolling a lot of ping pong balls.
Is it Poppy?
Yeah, my cat is playing with like 19 toys right outside the room.
Hi, Poppy. I love her. I haven't even met her, but I love her.
She's great. I'll send you a picture if you want to put it on the Instagram.
Absolutely
so
freaking do.
see
Our
her.
number one fan, Miss Poppy Horst O'Keefe.
Oh, Poppy is not our number one fan.
She's not?
Poppy has way too highbrow taste.
She's a cat.
To listen to this podcast.
If she was a dog, she'd be our number one fan, but she's a cat, so.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, so I never have to think about this movie
I think
again,
about it all the time. It's all I think about.
If you had to pick one actor, best performance, most performance, whatever you want, real star of the film.
Arnold.
Oh
my gosh! There's no topping it. No topping it. It's the most iconic line of the film.
Mm-hmm. I have to give it to the mom.
Okay.
Because she's having a constant Vietnam flashback
Yes.
the entire time.
She must have grown up and knew. Oh. I just connected
Did
it.
she grow up in Nilbog?
I don't want to tell you what I was thinking because it would be a spoiler for another movie. But yes, I think she did grow up in Nilbog. But I don't think she's a goblin. I don't know.
What is that a spoiler for?
I'm not telling you. You haven't seen
Okay.
the movie. I'm not telling you.
Is it a horror movie?
Yes.
Am I going to watch it?
Well, other people who are listening might, so I'm not going to tell you until after we're done.
Okay, that's fine. You heard it here first, folks. Not spoiling things.
Not
We
today.
have never spoiled anything.
Not today,
in
Satan.
conclusion. Not today. Did you know that Bruce Willis was dead the whole time?
Get out. That's old news, my dude. Old news.
Okay, so to give this movie on a scale of 0 to 5 milks,
Like the
0
crusty
to
week
5
old milk?
Nilbog milks. What would you give it?
5. I'm rating it in terms of bad movies, because there's bad movies that I'm actually like, this is terrible, why am I watching it? And there's bad movies that I'm like, yes, give me more. I love it. Keep it coming. And I love this movie. Dan, I know you hate it. Dan, I know that you're mad that I made you watch it. I could not be more pleased. Truly.
I'm happy. I'm so happy for you. I really am.
Dan, it brings me immense joy to know that you suffered through this film. In case you forgot, I'm an energy vampire.
I remember. For reference, I gave The Room 4.5 stars out of 5.
Yes.
You can check my Letterboxd if you want to hold me to that.
I do want to hold you to that. I'll be checking later.
Okay. I'm giving this a half. A half milk. And I love milk.
A half milk?
A half.
This is on par with The Room.
This is so much worse than The Room. This is so much worse.
You're right. Not enough of the same exact sex scene over and over and over again.
Yes. Not enough sexy music and not enough panning shots of bridges and San Francisco.
Well, I'm sorry this movie took place in the country where they're hospitable, Dan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not enough panning shots of Provo, Utah.
Literally,
I don't know what town they filmed this in.
Some flat city in Utah.
Yeah.
Where there's absolutely zero mountains or mountainous rock formations.
Yeah, and that's hard to do in Utah, which is mostly mountain.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you should, when I'm an adult film star, my name will be Mostly Mountain.
Ew! Dan, I did not need to know that. Oh.
Okay, is there anything else that you need to say?
No, because I don't
Troll
even
2
want to.
Back in the Habit.
I don't even want to imagine forcing our favorite actors into this film. I think to do so would
I don't
disgrace them. But I really hope they cover this movie on, or if they haven't yet, I don't know if they have or not. But I'd love to see a Mystery Science Theater do this one, or episode of this one.
They did a Riff Tracks, which is kind of similar. But yeah, it's
like I would love when we're able to have live events again next time. MTK3, KM3. I try to be cool. Mystery Science Theater. MST3K. There we go. That was really painful. Stop rolling your eyes. Next time they come to town, I'd really love it if they were like, today we're doing Troll 2. I'd be like, hell yes. Let me settle into this chair right here.
Okay, that's it for Troll 2. If you're still listening and you haven't gouged your ears out just from hearing about this, or gouged your eyes out from being a really devoted fan and watching the movies that we review,
couldn't be me.
And you want to come back next week for our regularly scheduled programming, we will be back with a guest. It's our friend Jackson Heyman, and we will be either talking about Zoolander or Shaun of the Dead. I don't remember, and I need to clarify with him which one he wants to do. Oh
my gosh.
But we will have him on for the next 3 episodes. That'll be fun. He's fun.
He is fun. I miss him. We were talking about D&D, not lately, but like a few months ago. I discovered that we both like D&D now. So
I like D&D.
One of my characters is a goblin. What does your D&D stand for, Dan? I can tell that it does not stand for Dungeons and Dragons.
No, it stands for Da Cardi B and Da Megan Thee Stallion. Because they make
gobble me, swallow me, drip down the side of me. Yes.
If you would like to gobble and swallow us, you can do so online.
Yes, you can.
On Twitter and Facebook @and in conclusion, on Instagram @in conclusion podcast. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/in conclusion. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter @DanO'Keefe86, on Instagram @DLRAAR, and if you're really so inspired, on Letterboxd @DLRAAR. If you really want to, double check my ratings, I don't know.
You want to hold Dan accountable?
Yes. Hold me accountable, Anna. Where can they find you?
You can hold me accountable on Instagram @AutomusPrime818 or on Twitter @AutobotsRollout, capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O in Roll and the O in Out are zeros.
And if you really like the show, tell your friends.
Yeah.
Post about it on the internet. We love more people listening.
Share our posts.
Yes.
I'm trying to post more memes. Sometimes I just forget. Sorry, guys.
And if you're a very dedicated fan, and we only know if you're a dedicated fan because you're still listening an hour and a half in.
They didn't turn off the Troll 2 episode.
Yeah.
Only true
There
fans
is a
listen.
There's a Facebook page if you want to discuss with similar mental patients who are big fans of the show, called In Conclusion, The After Party. I have to say, created by a fan or a Stockholm Syndrome sufferer.
A top fan. Damn,
Yeah.
she's not a Stockholm Syndrome sufferer. She's invested. She was on the show.
It was Anna Horst is the leader of the group. So join that if you want. We'll be back next week with our regularly scheduled programming. Same In Conclusion time, same In Conclusion channel, wherever fine podcasts are sold. In the meantime, stay safe, have fun. If you see any green food, piss on it.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
Wait, should I have not drank this whole Sprite? I mean, it's not green inside. Bye. Oh. When we were in the kitchen getting ready, Gage goes, "I don't cook." And I went, "I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring. Gobble me, swallow me." And he did not join in. That's grounds for dumping. Grounds for dumping.